Hey guys, BrickWizard59 here, and welcome back to another video. And today we're going to be talking about how to build your LEGO Star Wars Clone Trooper army in the most cost-effective way. Now, Clone Troopers are probably the most popular Star Wars minifigure for army building, and this Clone Troopers is where army building started. So even to this day, 2017, new LEGO fans, even older LEGO fans come in and attempt to build up their own Clone Trooper armies. So in this video, we're going to be talking about the most cost-effective way to build up your Clone Trooper army. And for this video, we're only going to be talking about regular Clone Troopers. So your regular Clone Troopers, those are the only ones we're going to be talking about. We're not going to be talking about how to build up your, like 212, 501st, 41st Elite. So any printed clones, we're not going to be talking about those in this video, but rather just regular Clone Troopers in the white uniform. So basically, as if winter 2017, there are no sets on retail that have Clone Troopers in them. And that's what really makes it a bit difficult, is you can't go out and just buy a ton of sets with clones because there are none. To build up your Clone Trooper army now in 2017, you have to look to the secondhand market, which means Brooklink.com and eBay. Those are your two sites to build up a Clone Trooper army. And on that site, we're going to be talking about how to build up a Clone Trooper army using sets, buying individual minifigures, and just parting together the minifigures, which I think that's a big one, which you guys are really gonna find helpful. So those are the three ways, and once again, you can only do these on the secondhand markets, which is Brooklink and eBay. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so we're actually going to be talking about the 5 different versions of the regular Clone Trooper. So of course you have your episode 3 version, which is this guy right here. And there are actually 2 episode 3 versions released, one of this guy and one of a newer version of the episode 3 Clone Trooper, which was available in that little mini Clone Turbo Tank set. Those are the 2 episode 3 clones. So we're going to be talking about those. Your episode 2 clones, which there are a couple. We have this one right over here, which is just your regular episode 2 clone from 2003. And then you also have this guy right here. And this is the newer version of the episode 2 clone. So those are the 2 types of episode 2 clones which we're going to be talking about in this video. And then you have your regular Clone Wars clone. So that's the last of the 5 Clone Troopers. And those are the 5 minifigures we're going to be talking about today. Alright, so first let's go ahead and talk about LEGO sets. I want to get that one out of the way quickly. And basically, the bottom line is, I feel like if you want to build up your Clone Trooper army, sets are not the way to go. Because battle packs, for example, which were when they're available, they're very helpful. But battle packs like the Clone Trooper Battle Pack, which have like 3 clones and a clone gunner, that goes for like $15-20. The old school Clone Trooper Battle Pack, that also goes for like $20 plus. So basically, the Star Wars sets in general, it's a bad idea because they're quite a bit more overpriced. So they're not $10 or $20. So basically, the value for that isn't as much worth it because the price of all the LEGO Star Wars sets takes into consideration the average prices of each minifigure as well. So that price is also added on, and that makes a set far too expensive. So basically, I would say if you're just looking for clones and not sets, don't buy. If you're not looking for the builds in the sets and just for the Clone Trooper minifigures, do not go for sets. That's definitely going to cost much more money, so I'd stay away from that. But if you're interested in the actual builds, then I'd say go ahead and get it. Get sets, and you'll get a few clones with it. But again, if you're just interested in the actual minifigures and nothing else, then do not go and buy sets on these secondhand markets. Alright, so now let's go ahead and talk about buying Clone Trooper minifigures individually. So again, these are the 5 versions of the regular Clone Trooper available. I don't have the new version of the Episode 3 clone, so I'm just using a 501st Trooper in exchange. But basically it looks exactly like this, except without any of the printing, blueprinting. So these are the 5 minifigures. And we're going to actually go individually. Now, if you are looking to buy individual minifigures, and this is definitely where it gets a bit, this is probably probably one of the best ways to build up a Clone Trooper army. So right here, I have prices, and so let's start off with bricklink.com. Prices to buy these 5 minifigures. Let's start off with the Episode 2 Clone Trooper, the newest version, or the oldest version, sorry. And that one goes for average about $4.95, cheapest in a good condition. And so that is definitely the most expensive of all of these. Next off, we have the newer version of the Episode 2 clone. That one goes for $3.30 for the minifigure. And again, all of these are used in good condition. So definitely, if you're looking to build up a Episode 2 clone army, I would go with the new one, as the old one's just too expensive, and there are not too many of those in circulation, as they were only available in 2 sets, this guy. So it wouldn't be, you won't really be getting more than even 20 or so. That's amazing if you have 20 of these guys. I have like about 8 or 10. And again, I got those through the sets. I got a few through trades. It's definitely a pricey minifigure, so I would suggest holding off if you're trying to build a Clone Trooper army on that, if you have a little bit of a limited budget. Now, let's say Clone Wars clones. These are probably the most popular of all the clones to build up your army, Clone Trooper armies with. They go for about $3. So in terms of minifigure average retail minifigure price online on bricklink.com, this guy is the cheapest, $3 each. So that again is the cheapest, and you can there are available in many quantities, 600. I've seen a couple people with a few hundred of these guys. So these ones are probably the ones that are most widely available. So if you want to build a huge army, these are the ones that I definitely go for. Then you got your Episode 3 clone. This one goes for $3.50 average on bricklink.com, and that's again in good condition. So it's a bit pricey, but still, all of these are except for this guy. So these guys are all in the $3 to $3.50 price range, which is pretty decent. And then lastly, we have your regular Episode 3 clone, and that guy goes for $5.50, most expensive out of all of these guys. And sadly, you look on bricklink.com, there are not too many available. Many folks only have one in quantity. The most you can buy from one seller is about like 8. So I'm telling you, that is not a Clone Trooper to go for in terms of building an army, because they're just not that widely available. So those are the look at the prices of the clones, and that would be the second way to pick up your clone, make up your Clone Trooper army. And third, and this is probably the most helpful, and that is buying individual parts of the Lego Clone Trooper and piecing it together. So what that means, for example, let's say you have your regular, this Episode 2 clone. So instead of buying the whole minifigure for one specific price, right? What you can do instead is just buy the helmet individually, buy the head individually, buy the torso individually, and buy the leg individually. So I'll move these out of the way. So let's say you just buy each of these at an individual price. So you can, on bricklink.com, you can either buy just you can buy a full minifigure or one part of the minifigure. So you can buy each of these parts individually. And they actually have a different price. So let's say you buy each of these individually. These legs here, I have all the numbers here, so I think this will be really helpful. But for the Episode 2 clone, the legs cost 10 cents. The torso costs $1.75 on average. These are all average prices. The head, this guy right here, cost 15 cents. And the helmet, $3.75. So if you add up that value, it'll come out to $5.75. And the price for just one just buying the minifigure separately, so instead of buying them individually, just buying the full minifigure as one piece, that's $4.95. So this is the rare time when buying each part individually and piecing it together costs more than the actual minifigure. So if you are looking to buy an episode 2 clone, just buy the minifigure as one full instead of buying each of these separately. So that is your episode 2 clone in the older version. And then you got your episode 2 clone newer version. So same thing, where you buy each of the parts individually. So let's go through the numbers for that. The legs, once again, same thing, 10 cents average. The torso, 85 cents. The head, this one right here, costs 50 cents, sorry. And then the helmet costs 95 cents. This right here, this helmet. So when you add those together, the new episode 2 clone costs $2.40 when you buy each piece individually and piece it together, compared to a $3.30 price if you buy the full minifigure as one. So if you are looking for episode 2 clones, this is one of the times where buy each of the parts individually and you will get it for a lot cheaper. In this case, $2.40 compared to $3.30 if you buy the full minifigure as one. So you are saving 90 cents. So if you're looking to buy out your episode 2 clone army, I would say definitely go by buying each piece individually rather than just the full minifigure. Next off, we got our Clone Wars clone. So this is the Clone Wars clone. Now let's say, again, you buy each of these parts individually. So you got your torso, you got your legs, head, and helmet. So, in terms of the prices for these, the legs, again, plain white, so 10 cents average. The head costs 50 cents. The torso also costs 50 cents. And the helmet, $1.50. So when you add the individual prices for all of these up, it comes out to $2.60 compared to about $3 if you're buying the full clone minifigure. Just the full clone minifigure costs $3, but if you buy each part individually and piece it together, it'll cost $2.60. So you are once again saving 40 cents. So building up your Clone Wars clone army, I would say buy all of them individually and piece the clones together. You're going to be saving 40 cents, which definitely is quite a bit if you buy tons of them. So that is your Clone Wars clone. Let's move these guys out of the way. And next off, let's take a look at the episode 3 clone. Now, after the Clone Wars clone, probably this is the most popular, and actually so many folks want this minifigure because it just looks really good. And of course, it's episode 3 version, so it relates more to the movies. So, episode 3 clone. Again, let's take a look at if you piece it together. So by each of the 4 parts here, try to remove the helmet here. But if you buy each of these 4 parts individually, so the legs cost 10 cents. The torso, $1.75. The head, 15 cents. And the helmet, 89 cents. So if you buy all the pieces individually and add up their price, it'll come out to $2.89 compared to a $3.50 cheapest for just buying a full clone altogether. So if you're looking to buy an episode 3 clone army, I would say the piecing it together at $2.89 is cheaper compared to its $3.50 price if you buy the full minifigure. So you will be saving 61 cents. So episode 3 clones also, buy all the parts individually and piece it together, as that will be cheaper. And lastly, your regular episode 3 clone. Now this guy, again, I would say this is not the best in army building, but if you just want to buy a few, The helmet costs $150, the regular plain helmet. The plain torso costs 85 cents. The legs cost 50 cents. And the head, so this is the head here. And this one, again, will also cost, where is it? 50 cents. So, overall, buying the new Episode 3 clone, $4.85 total. If you want to buy it. Actually, the legs. Sorry, I forgot the legs. So, legs cost $2. So, total basically for a regular Episode 3 new version clone, $4.85 is the one if you buy all the parts individually. If you want to buy the minifigure by itself, it's $5.50. So once again, you would be better off buying all the individual pieces and then piecing it together, as you would be saving, what was that, 65 cents. Alright, so just a bit of a quick recap. If you're buying your clone troopers, if you're buying a Episode 2 clone, I would say buy the individual minifigure rather than buying each part and then piecing it together. For the other 4 clones, I would say if you want to buy these, I would go with buying each individual part and then piecing it together instead of just buying the full minifigure individually. So that is definitely a lot more cost effective for these 4. This guy, I would say just buy the individual minifigure. And this is all for bricklink.com. You can do this on Bricklink, where you can buy either the minifigure or just each part that makes up the minifigure. Now, that's Bricklink. Now, what about eBay? Now, eBay prices are a bit more expensive. So if you're trying to buy individual minifigures, Bricklink is the way to go. And eBay, you can't just buy a part of it. But what's good for eBay is buying in lots. So let's say you have find a huge lot of Lego clones, that would be cheaper. Also, if you find a huge lot of minifigures with a few clones sprinkled in, that would be cheaper. So I would say if you're looking at an eBay, buying many of the clones together or in lots would be the best way to go, but that's also a bit more difficult, more time consuming with bidding. So my preferred site would be bricklink.com, because you can buy as many as you want. You don't have to go through the hassle of bidding, plus you can piece it together, which is cheaper. So that is once again a recap at buying them minifigures individually versus piecing them together. Alright, but anyways, there you go. That is a look at the most cost-effective way to build up your clone trooper army. Quick recap. You can't buy any sets as of 2017 winter, so you have to go from the second-hand market, Bricklink.com and eBay. 3 ways you can do it: sets, buying each minifigure individually, or buying the pieces for each minifigure and just piecing it together. I would say sets, not the best way to go. Individual minifigures, buying the Episode 2 clone individually would be better. And if you're doing any of the other 4 types of clones, piece the minifigures together, basically buy each of the individual parts and piece it together, would be significantly cheaper rather than buying just the minifigure as a whole. So, again, that is a bit of a recap. Thank you so much for watching. Tell me what you guys think. Was this helpful? Especially the piecing the minifigures together could be significantly cheaper. So please tell me if you guys found this video helpful. And if so, a thumbs up would be great. And of course, don't forget to subscribe and check out how to build a LEGO Imperial Army tutorial. That's also the last video on my channel. But anyways, this is BrickWizard59. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time.